In the last few years, the world has witnessed one of the strangest and most explosive financial revolutions in history. We're talking about NFTs, non-fungible tokens. What started as a niche corner of the crypto world quickly transformed into a global gold rush, minting a new class of digital millionaires and even billionaires. But behind the headlines of pixelated apes selling for millions of dollars lies a world far stranger and more fascinating than most people realize. Today, we're diving deep into the secret world of NFT billionaires, who they are, how they made their fortunes, and why some experts think this digital empire could either collapse tomorrow or reshape the future forever. At its core, an NFT is nothing more than a digital certificate of ownership stored on the blockchain. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, which are interchangeable, NFTs are unique. Each one represents a specific digital asset, whether that's a piece of digital art, music, a video clip, or even a virtual piece of land in the metaverse. And that uniqueness is exactly what made people start paying crazy amounts of money. In March 2021, the digital artist Beeple sold a collage of 5,000 digital images at Christie's auction house for a jaw-dropping $69.3 million. That single sale instantly made him one of the richest living artists on Earth and sparked global interest in NFTs. But Beeple wasn't the only one cashing in. Almost overnight, people who had been quietly collecting or creating NFTs for years found themselves sitting on digital gold. One of the most famous examples is Vignesh Sundaresan, better known as Metakovan, who purchased Beeple's artwork. Metakovan was already a crypto investor, but that bold purchase catapulted him into the spotlight and solidified his status as one of the earliest NFT billionaires. He later revealed that he had been collecting Beeple's art for months before the record-breaking auction, proving that those who moved early in the NFT game gained unimaginable rewards. Then came the rise of CryptoPunks and Bored Ape Yacht Club. These weren't traditional artworks, but collections of pixelated faces and cartoon apes, each with slight variations and unique traits. At first, you could mint a CryptoPunk for free back in 2017. Fast forward a few years, and individual punks were selling for millions of dollars each. In 2021, Visa, the global payments giant, even bought a CryptoPunk for $150,000 just to be part of the trend. Meanwhile, Bored Apes became the digital equivalent of a luxury membership club. Celebrities like Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Steph Curry, and Jimmy Fallon bought in, driving prices sky high. At the peak of the mania, owning a Bored Ape was like owning a yacht or a rare Ferrari. It was a status symbol. Behind these projects were creators and founders who struck digital oil. The team behind Yuga Labs, the creators of Bored Ape Yacht Club, saw their company's valuation explode to over $4 billion in just a year. For comparison, that's more than the market value of some publicly traded airlines or retail chains. In fact, when Yuga Labs raised funding in 2022, it instantly minted a group of NFT billionaires who were previously unknown to the outside world. These weren't Wall Street bankers or Silicon Valley tech moguls. They were mostly young, anonymous developers who had turned cartoon monkeys into a billion-dollar empire. But what's fascinating about the world of NFT billionaires is not just the money, it's the culture and secrecy around it. Unlike traditional billionaires, who are often photographed in luxury cars, mega mansions, and private jets, many NFT billionaires hide behind online aliases and digital avatars. They attend virtual parties in the metaverse instead of galas in Monaco. They flex their wealth not with Rolexes or Lamborghinis, but with rare NFTs displayed on their Twitter profiles or in digital galleries. In a strange way, NFT wealth is invisible to the naked eye. It exists entirely online. Take the story of the mysterious collector known as Whale Shark. He became famous for owning one of the world's largest NFT collections, worth tens of millions of dollars. Yet to this day, no one knows his real identity. He described himself as someone living a modest lifestyle while quietly building one of the most valuable digital art portfolios in existence. This anonymity adds a layer of mystique to the NFT billionaire class, making it feel like a secret society operating behind the screens. Of course, with great money comes great controversy. Critics argue that many NFT billionaires didn't get rich through genuine art or creativity, but by speculation and hype. They compare it to a digital gold rush or even a Ponzi scheme, where early adopters profit massively while latecomers get burned. And indeed, the crash came hard. By mid-2022, the NFT market saw trading volumes plummet by nearly 97% from their peak. Collections that once sold for millions dropped to mere thousands. Some investors who had bet their life savings lost everything. Yet through it all, the NFT billionaires largely remained untouched. Most of them had cashed out or diversified long before the collapse. This brings us to one of the biggest secrets of the NFT billionaire world: timing. Almost every story of massive wealth in NFTs comes down to people who got in early, believed in the technology, and held on long enough to ride the wave before selling at the peak. Just like in the early days of Bitcoin, those who dismissed NFTs as a fad were left watching as others turned memes and digital drawings into fortunes. In fact, data shows that less than 1% of NFT traders accounted for over 80% of all profits. That means the wealth was highly concentrated, creating an elite circle of digital tycoons while the majority of players struggled to break even. Another intriguing fact about NFT billionaires is how they've started to shape not just art, but entire industries. Many have invested their fortunes into building the metaverse, virtual worlds where NFTs act as land deeds, clothing, and even identity. Companies like Decentraland and The Sandbox have sold millions of dollars worth of virtual real estate. At one point, a plot of land in The Sandbox sold for $4.3 million, more than many real homes in New York or Los Angeles. Big brands from Adidas to Gucci jumped in, seeing NFTs as a way to engage with the next generation of consumers. For NFT billionaires, this wasn't just about flexing wealth, it was about shaping the architecture of a digital future. But perhaps the most astonishing part of the NFT billionaire story is how quickly fortunes can appear and disappear. Consider the case of OpenSea, the world's largest NFT marketplace. Its founders went from ordinary entrepreneurs to billionaires almost overnight when trading volumes exploded in 2021. By the end of that year, OpenSea was valued at $13 billion, higher than some legacy art auction houses that had been around for centuries. Yet just a year later, as trading activity collapsed, their paper wealth shrank dramatically. The NFT world has created billionaires faster than almost any industry in history, but it can take it away just as quickly. So where does this leave us today? Are NFT billionaires just lucky gamblers who rode a speculative bubble, or are they pioneers of a digital renaissance? The answer may be somewhere in between. On one hand, the hype around NFTs undoubtedly led to absurd valuations and reckless speculation. But on the other hand, the underlying technology, the ability to prove digital ownership, has undeniable potential. Already, NFTs are being explored for uses far beyond art, including real estate deeds, event tickets, intellectual property, and even medical records. If those applications take off, the early NFT billionaires may be remembered not as opportunists, but as visionaries who saw the future before anyone else. At the same time, the secret world of NFT billionaires continues to evolve. Some remain hidden, quietly holding vast fortunes in digital wallets. Others have stepped into the light, using their wealth to build companies, fund artists, and invest in new technologies. And some, inevitably, have faded from the spotlight, their fortunes evaporating as quickly as they appeared. But one thing is certain. NFTs have permanently changed the way we think about value in the digital age. They've shown that in a world increasingly lived online, people are willing to pay staggering amounts for digital ownership, status, and identity. And that's the real secret of NFT billionaires. Their wealth is not just about money, it's about culture, technology, and the human desire to own something unique, even if it only exists on a screen. They represent a new frontier of capitalism where the boundaries between art, finance, and technology blur into one. Whether you love them or hate them, whether you think NFTs are a scam or the future of the internet, you can't deny the impact this new class of digital billionaires has had on the world. So the next time you see a cartoon ape or a pixelated punk selling for millions, remember, behind that image could be a hidden empire, a digital kingdom run by anonymous billionaires shaping the future from the shadows. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.